Hi guys, and welcome to our city's first ever remote Facebook Live. I'm Nicole Baxter, the city's communications officer, and today I'm excited to be interviewing our city clerk about all things election 2020. So Amy, thank you so much for joining us today. I know 2020 is a year unlike any other, and I was hoping you could start by telling us a little bit about how voting in Citrus Heights is different this year.
Yes, well, thank you for having me. So since the city's incorporation, Citrus Heights residents have gone to the polls and they've been able to vote for candidates to serve on the 5-member city council. And this year, on November 3rd, many Citrus Heights voters will elect their city council members by geographic district for the first time. Seats up for election this November are Districts 1 and 3. And then in 2022, City Council Districts 2, 4, and 5 will have a seat open at that election.
That's so exciting. So how can our residents find out which district that they're in for this upcoming election?
That's a great question. We have made an interactive map, and I'll share it with you, and I can show everyone who's joining us how they can find their city council district where they live. So if you go to the city's website, citrusheights.net, and then /districts, you'll come to a page that we've set up all things transitioning to district elections. And we have an interactive map here that shows it's color coded and it shows all 5 of the districts. And up in the left-hand corner, you'll be able to type your address. So I'll type our City Hall address. You click on the address and it zooms into your location. You're able to click on that with your mouse and you'll find that City Hall is in Council District 3 as well as Neighborhood Association 4.
And that's great. So you just visit the website, type in the address, and then it sounds like districts 1 and 3 are up this year, right? And 2, 4, and 5 will be up for election in 2022.
Right.
So let's back up a little bit and talk about the difference between at-large and district elections.
Sure. So the city of Citrus Heights, as I've said, previously elected its 5 members at large, meaning each registered voter in the city had the opportunity to vote for all open city council seats in an election. So by district divides the city into geographic districts, and the 5 seats on the city council are now assigned to specific geographic districts within the city.
Gotcha. And then council members from each district, they have to live in the different 5 districts, right?
Correct, they do.
Gotcha. And how did that process come about for Citrus Heights? It's new, right?
Yes, it is new. It was a long process to get here, but back in December of 2018, the city received a letter from Shankman and Hughes alleging that the city's method of electing council members at large violated the California Voter Rights Act. So over a long 6-month process, the city council held 5 public hearings to gather input, prepare draft maps, and ultimately divided the city into voting districts that was consistent with the California Voting Rights Act. Then finally, on June 27th, 2019, the city council adopted an ordinance establishing by district election process in 5 council districts.
Gotcha. That's a lot of work to get to this point. If you guys are just joining us, thank you so much for tuning in to our first ever remote Facebook Live for the City of Citrus Heights. I'm interviewing today our City Clerk, Amy Van, and we are going over all things elections 2020. We just covered districting, which is new in Citrus Heights. And Amy, before we move on from this topic, I was wondering if you could share a little bit about how it affects our voters, districting.
Yeah, that's a good question. So now the number of election races that a voter will see this year and will vote in will depend on where you live in the city. So every 4 years, Citrus Heights voters will have the opportunity to vote for a candidate for city council that lives in their district.
That's exciting. So if you live in districts 1 and 3, you'll get to vote for your council member on the 2020 ballot. Speaking of voting, let's kind of move into all the different ways people can vote in this election.
Sure. So number one, make sure you're registered to vote so you can vote safely and early. The registration deadline is October 19th. And if you're unsure about your registration status, you can actually check that out online at voterstatus.sos.ca.gov. And you can also register online as well. But you'll have the option to mail in your ballot, postage prepaid, drop off your ballot at secure drop box locations, or visiting a vote center, which most of them, several will open 11 days before Election Day.
Gotcha. So backing up to registering to vote, I've got to say, I just recently went to the voterstatus.sos.ca.gov to check on my registration, and it was super quick. I did it all from my phone. I think it was like under a minute. So it's an easy process to do. But could you talk to us a little bit about conditional voter registration too?
Sure. So if you don't register by the registration deadline, you can take advantage of conditional voter registration. You can go to a vote center within the county, or you can visit the County of Sacramento Voter Registration and Elections Office, and you can register to vote there and conditionally vote.
Gotcha, that's great. So you talked a little bit about mail-in, ballot drop-off, voting centers. Let's go into the dates and what City Hall will host to help with voting.
Sure. So first and foremost, ballots will be mailed by the County of Sacramento Voter Registration and Elections on October 5th. So you can watch out for your ballot that first week of October. And City Hall will host a 24-hour secure ballot drop box here at City Hall. And we will also have a vote center that will open on October 24th. It'll be open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. with the exception of Election Day. And on Election Day, it'll be open 7 a.m. to 8 p.m.
That's great. And if someone wanted to find a vote center or a ballot drop box location near them, where could they go to find a map of those?
That's a great question. And so I'll share with everyone here how easy it is. You can follow along. So I'm on the Sacramento County Voter Registration and Elections webpage. And on their webpage, you can click on the button that says current election. And if you scroll all the way down, there's a button that says vote centers and ballot drop boxes. And when you click on that, it will tell you all of them that are opening October 24th through the 3rd, those that will open on October 31st, and then all of the vote by mail drop box locations that open on October 5th. And you can see by the map here, there are a lot of locations all throughout Sacramento County.
That's great. Yeah, there's a lot of locations on that map. So that's the Sac County website to check out voter Dropbox and voting stations near you. So we're promoting this Facebook Live all week long, and I know we had some community questions come in. So my colleague Haley Reed is monitoring our comments section. So if you guys have any election related questions, please comment below on this live video. We'd love to address any questions that you may have. And Haley, did you want to queue up any of our community questions?
Yeah, so we did have some questions emailed in earlier this week. Amy, they're asking, where can I learn more about what's going to be on the ballot?
Yeah, that's a good question. So again, let me share here with everyone. So back on the Sacramento County's voter registration and elections webpage, again, if you click on the current election and scroll down, there's a button here, what is on your ballot? So if you click there, oh, wrong one. My election information, there we go. You'll be able to enter in your address, zip code, your birth date, and it will pull up your voter guide for your area so you know exactly what you will be voting on.
Great, thank you, Amy. And then we also have another question. That people are asking what measures are being taken at the vote centers due to COVID?
Yes, so the Sacramento County Voter Registration and Elections has been working hard on their plan to develop and make sure that voting is safe this year. And they will, at the vote centers, they will ensure that social distancing will be enforced at all vote centers. Voters should wear a face mask covering when they do visit a vote center. Gloves, hand sanitizer, masks, and one-time use pens will be made available. Staff that are working the vote centers will also be wearing masks, gloves, and will have protective barriers to ensure all voters' protection. And all accessible ballot marking devices and booths will be sanitized after every voter.
And that's it for questions that I had emailed in.
All right, thanks, Haley. Well, if our viewers out there have questions, if you're watching a recording of this, you can continue to comment them in, or you can reach out to us via email at cityclerk@citrusheights.net. We're here to answer any questions you have. We know that 2020 is a year unlike any other, but clearly the county and our efforts at the city, we're doing everything possible to make sure voting is easy and safe for us this season. So Amy, before we sign off, I just wanted to ask if there's anything you wanted to add to this conversation.
Yeah, just remember, vote early. Once you receive, everyone in the Sacramento County will receive a mail ballot at their homes, and vote early safely from the comfort of your home. And early ballots are counted first.
Good to know. All right. Well, you guys heard it here. Vote early, vote safely, and reach out to us if you have any questions. Thanks so much for those who tuned in. We will be recording this session and sharing it afterwards. So if you missed it live, you can still participate in this conversation. Thanks so much. We're going to sign off for today. Have a good week.
Thank you.